So we're at week 4 of our 12 weeks to Christmas. Wow, it's going fast. So what are we doing here? We're just straining off. Remember I said that we're going to have something hot? Well, here it comes. No surprise now. We have Fire Cider or Master Tonic. For those who don't know me, my name is Lynnie Stein. And there's no secret that I love fermentation. I love that F word. Anyone that comes to my home, my communal table is always open, my doors are always open, and we know that when I share food, my guests always expect to have something from the fermentation family, that it will star there, that it will mix in. For those that can't come to my communal table here, you're quite welcome to visit me at my online home, which is linniestein.com, and it has lots of resources there. There's a freebie page which has lots of things that I've created over many years, and you'll find lots of value there. I've made them now all downloadable, so you can actually go there and just view it and read it, and if there's something you want to read later or you want to store, you can just download it and you can view it at your pleasure when you have the time. So we're just straining off there all the little goodness. Now this is a beautiful gift. This, should have double fed that fella. But yeah, so it's a lovely gift that you can make, and you can give it as a gift. Put it into like a little bottle and put a label on there telling the people what's in there and what it will do for them. That it'll boost that immune system. It's very easy to make. We're using apple cider vinegar tonight, which is a wonderful, wonderful little product from the acetic acid family, that produces that acetic bacteria. It's a little bit different from our last week's. And that's very gets your sinuses going at once. So I'll just move it over there. So when you're making your fire cider, you want really warming ingredients, and make sure that you're doing it in a very open space so that you don't get all sinusy, and do wear gloves because we're using chilies. So a bit burny. So first of all, we'll put in some turmeric. So just some diced turmeric, some ginger, the warming ingredients, because this is very good. Not only does it boost the immune system, it's very good if you can feel the lurgy coming on. You can actually start having doses of it all throughout the day, and I've heard of some marvellous results from people. So that's ginger, horseradish. So turmeric, ginger, horseradish and garlic, and a little bit of chili and some onion, all those warming ingredients. The chili, we just sliced up the chili, that's all from my garden, and some garlic, I said the garlic, and there's some garlic tops in there as well, and a little bit of a variety of onions. There's some nice golden shallots there. I actually put the skins in as well because they're nice and soft, because they had come out of my garden. So we just mix that all through, and then that goes into your container, and you cover it with apple cider vinegar. Now you would be familiar with apple cider vinegar that you use to put into products like when you're making broths. Do you know why you put it into your broth? Come on, tell me, why would you put apple cider vinegar into your broths? And I'm not just talking bone broths, you even put it into, like, if you're making a seaweed and all your scrap broths, like a vegetarian broth, you still put your apple cider vinegar in because it draws out the minerals. That's what the beauty of it is. So you can actually, with your fire cider, it's going to, so you strain that off, and then you'll have that mass in there. Now don't ever throw this away, because this is of value as well. So this one needs to be refrigerated, but your fire cider doesn't need to be refrigerated. That just can go into your cupboard. But remember Tom, for those that remember Tom, Tom's our senior, who's had marvellous results by combining fermented foods into his everyday life. And he shares with us his little tip where he puts in, like, his fire cider, that he does it so that he actually does refrigerate it, because he puts it all into the little containers. So it's there to remind him that it's there to have. But, like, because it's all
talking about getting into that routine, that rhythm, that habit of it's all right making these foods, but you must have them, and it's best if you can have them on a daily basis, small amounts. So with your fire cider, when you put it into your little bottles and you strain it off, put it in little bottles like this to share it. So this is going to be the best gift that you can give to anyone, and you can just put little labels around it and put on there, you know, what's in there and how to take it. So how do you take it? Well, it's really easy. So Tom always has his first thing in the morning, but you'll get to know when your body wants it. So you just get off like about a tablespoonful, put it under your tongue, hold it there. So what it is it's hold, gargle and swallow. So don't just swallow it straight down. We'd want it to hold there before it hits into your digestive juices. So hold it for a few minutes, as long as you can, and then gargle. Just gargle it all around before you swallow. So by gargling, you're going to do two bonuses for your gut health, because gargling is something we should be doing on a daily basis, because it helps go down to that vagus nerve, the one that helps with our digestion. And singing helps too. So if you're like me and you don't have the best singing voice, you just tell people you're working on your gut health. So singing and gargling is very good. So that's how you swallow it down. And you might find it's a little bit hot and spicy for you at start. You can calm down that hot and spicy with a slice of lemon. Well, what's really good is double boost for your immune system is a little dash of milk kefir. That's what Tom always does. He always follows his fire cider with some milk kefir or kefir, and he finds that just calms that heat down straight away. Your body does get used to that heat. Now, when you're making your fire cider and putting that drawing apple cider vinegar in, you can actually do lots of things. Like here, we have a calcium and mineral-rich vinegar. And all that is a clean eggshell and some greens. And once again, the apple cider vinegar is put on top. So that will draw out all the minerals from the greens. I love to use wild greens, but you can get like a nice little bunch of spring greens and just a clean eggshell. Now, these don't have to be packed heavy into your pot, like into your jar, like we did with the sauerkraut. This is a totally different family. So you can just loosely put your greens in a very clean eggshell, remove like the membrane, and cover it with apple cider vinegar, and it'll draw out the calcium. The egg will disappear. It'll actually just disappear, so it'll really draw out all that calcium and the minerals from the greens. That you don't use, that's it there. Look how dark the colour has gone, and that's just from greens in an eggshell with that apple cider vinegar over the top. So when you're using an apple cider vinegar, if you don't have homemade's always best, but not everyone's going to have a big source or store in their pantry of homemade vinegars, but you'll get into it because it's a beautiful, vinegars just it gives the kitchen so much wow, and your health as well. It's a great digestive. So when you go out and purchase your apple cider vinegar, do look for like organic, and it has to have the mother with it. The mother you'll see it's always cloudy. So what we're doing here is we've got blueberries, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cover it exactly how I was just talking if we had a clean eggshell and a big bunch of greens. This is what we're doing here. So this is going to be blueberries infused in your apple cider vinegar. You'd say, well, Linny, what do we do with the blueberries infused in? And we leave this out. And it'll talk to you, it'll tell you when it's ready. In my download, in the Christmas book, I've got all the times that I leave them out for, and what you've got to look for as you watch the transformation of it all change. I love to use this. I've got a recipe there where I combine it into a salad, and it gets combined with cacao nibs, just quinoa, cacao nibs, and some greens. There's no need to add dressing because you're going to use the dressing from in here, and you can eat. You don't need to throw the blueberries away. They're okay. You just put those through, and it goes beautiful with the cacao. You can use them into like drinking shrubs. You can use your blueberries into there. Talking of shrubs and vinegars, of course, one of the nicest vinegar that you can make for a drink. You would have heard me in our second presentation for this series when we had the beverages, and I spoke of my love for shrubs, which are drinking vinegars. So this one is basil, strawberries, and it's immersed in a really stronger vinegar than your apple cider. So this has balsamic. Well, it's my balsamic. I make it with my grapes, but like you could use a balsamic vinegar. Now there's at least a couple of ways that you can make a shrub. I like the long process where it's actually cold infused, so it's just like a fermentation process. But a lot of people like to make a syrup and they like to heat it first. So that's a quicker way, and I've got both varieties for you. This is why you set your Christmas up from now on, because if you're cold infusing it, it does take a longer period. That is just wonderful. You can use that as like for salad dressings. You can combine it in with it's just anything that you would want to normally put your strawberries and basil. And that's how you use that. You can also, as I said, you make those drinking vinegars. Once you have your shrub parties, you'll be hooked. They're just so wonderful. So that's your blueberries and your strawberry and basil. And now when you leave these out, very important, and even afterwards when you refrigerate it, because you don't have to strain these like you do with those. So when you put them in there, you might grow a little mother, and you'll think, oh, what's happening? They're funny little things. They're beautiful because you can use them to make more vinegar. But you can use them like for first aid kits. You can use them as a band-aid. Look at that, for like if you burn yourself or something in the kitchen, I always grab a little slice of this and just put on it. It just takes the pain out straight away. Amazing little fellas. And you can use them in your skincare. You can use them for face masks. You can box them up and put them all over your face, and it just makes your skin so beautiful. So that will be what you can grow. So don't ever worry about those, because they're beauties. And that just telling you that you've made a good batch. This here was when we did that leftover when we were making the beverages, and I had the leftover oranges, and I put some cloves in there, being for festive season, and I covered that with the old vinegar. So that actually was a water kefir that had gone to the vinegar stage, that had gone past being tongue tasty. So that just goes into there, and they'll grow in there as well. So don't ever panic when you're growing those, because it's good. Now that's really wonderful, strained off, and you use that for your cleaning. That's not one that we drink, we just use that. Oh, you could make a dressing out of it. I mean, something with, oh gee, the smell of that is just superb. So there we go. Now, we did have a little competition going here tonight, but I'm not sure if you've all filled out what we were making. I gave you the little pictures, but because we're giving you, we're going to draw them. I've been in a summit all day, so I haven't been onto our site, into our group. But what we're going to do, we're opening up my book club. Now, anybody that's here that's bought any of my programs, any of them at all, excluding the 10 for $10, the 10 ferments made in less than 10 minutes, which is $10, excluding that. But anything else, you go in straight away. You're already in the book club. But anybody else, I'm opening it up at the price of a coffee, $7 a month. For that, you'll be able to, I'll give you the download link that you'll be able to download over 30 of my ebooks, which gives you all step-by-step and stories. And really there you can ferment absolutely anything. There's 3 gut planners, and in the actual book club, which at the moment we've got it as a private members only Facebook group, and we've already done the skincare, we've already done bacterial beauty, so that's there for you, and we've also done skinny gut, because that's what everybody wanted to be for first. So I always give you a choice of what we're going to do for the month. And in Skinny Gut, it's got its own books that are on there that you can download, and there's 4 of them, and it's a step-by-step going with you, because everybody's gut is unique. It's unique to you. So that's really good for anyone. It's not just for people that wanting to reduce weight. It actually works for the reverse as well. So it's just there. It's a plan to get you on track so that you boost your immune system, you glow, you feel good on the inside and the outside. The idea of the book club, I would have liked to have called it the buddy club, but my marketing people told me, no, Lenny, it's a book club. But it's a little bit more than a book club. It's, to me, it's exactly the same as bringing you in here and sitting at my communal table. It's buddies. And I think anything that's happened over the last year and a half, my big experience that I've had is how important family and friends are to you. And, you know, when we've been in all this lockdown and that isolation, one of the wonderful parts of isolation was when people started to make things, they become very self-sufficient. You know, I know on my website, my sourdough bread, it had these massive big spikes of traffic, and people were out making it and sharing it. You know, they were leaving the sourdough starters in their driveways for people to pick up. And that was wonderful. But the big thing with fermentation is it's like a hobby. I don't like to call it a hobby. I like to call it a way of life. It is my way of life, and that's what I love about it. You know, it means that you never have any waste, and you ferment with the seeds, and you ferment with what you find out in nature. There's just so much to learn from it. It just teaches us things every day. But the big thing with saying if it was a hobby is that with hobbies, like the people that started making those sourdough bread, when they got back into their lifestyle, it's starting to go by the side. So this buddy club that I have, what it does is, even if you have never fermented, you're welcome, because you're just a novice fermenter. You haven't started, and we will guide you through. But if you're already a fermenter, you're welcome as well, because what will happen, you will get the motivation to continue to always do it, because that's what it's all about. It's about that community, because these are all communities of bacteria and yeast. So why not bring the community together and find buddies within each other so that we can support one another. So I'll leave the link for you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to get in contact with me. Check me out at lennystein.com, and anything that you want, my number's on there. You can send me a text or whatever. Just remember, we are all in different time zones, but I will always get back to you. Allow a day, and I will be back. Love and bacteria.